If you want to get out there and start being more vocal about your beliefs, or maybe you just want to speak up more in everyday conversations, but you do I know how to do it. This video is for you. Hey there, that's me, and today we are going to be talking all about speaking up and speaking your truth. And how do I know that? Because if you clicked on this video, chances are you are looking for exactly that. So let's jump into it. One of the biggest pieces of feedback I got from people when I was doing my one-on-one coaching was that they wanted to work on speaking up more at work, speaking up in meetings, speaking up for themselves. But when the time came, they were still struggling with how to actually go out there and do it. They knew they wanted to speak up more, but then they weren't actually doing it because they didn't have a plan. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So many of us are afraid of speaking up. Maybe we've been reprimanded in the past for speaking our minds, or maybe we've tried to speak up and it has not gone very well, and so we do try again. Or maybe we haven't really thought about it, but we just know that we want to speak up more. Whatever the case may be, if you're watching this video, I assume that you're interested in learning how to speak up in these kinds of situations. And that's why I made this framework called Be Loud with Results. Let's take a look at each letter. First off, we've got B, which stands for beliefs. Before you even open your mouth, before you even think about speaking up, you need to get clear on your beliefs around speaking up. You need to believe that you have something valuable to contribute. You need to believe that your opinion matters. You need to believe that you can speak up and still be liked. Sometimes this is easier said than done. And especially if you're in a situation where you feel like your opinions have been disregarded in the past. Or maybe you feel like you do want to have a seat at the table. But whatever your current belief is, you need to recognize that that's where your journey begins. Starting with your beliefs, it's also important that you believe that you deserve to speak up, that you deserve to have your voice heard. And sometimes it's hard to believe that we deserve good things. If you've struggled with self-worth or with self-esteem in the past, this might be a particularly difficult step for you. But recognize that in order to speak up, you first need to believe that you deserve to. Next up, we've got the L, which stands for listen. Listening is such an important part of speaking up because in order to speak up, you first need to know what's going on. You need to know the lay of the land. You need to know what everyone else is saying. You need to understand their points of view. And by listening, you will learn how to best phrase your own thoughts so that when you do speak up, it's even more powerful. And it also shows others that you care. You took the time to listen to what they had to say. And if you show others that you respect them, they'll be more likely to respect you and what you have to say as well. Also, make sure you're listening to yourself. Make sure you're tuning into what you want, what you need, what you think is right. I find that a lot of times we so concerned with what everyone else wants or what everyone else thinks that we forget to check in with ourselves. So be sure to listen to your inner voice as well. Next up, we've got O, which stands for opportunity. You need to keep your eyes open for opportunities to speak up. Opportunities don't always come in the form of a job interview or a performance review. It could just as easily be a small group meeting with your coworkers or a casual conversation with your neighbor. Just because you want to speak up at work doesn't mean that you should only speak up at work. You can and should speak up in all areas of your life. So keep your eyes open for those opportunities, and once you see one, make sure you prepare for it. The more you practice speaking up, the better you'll get at it. So even if there are small opportunities, seize them. It's also important to recognize that sometimes we miss opportunities because we're not really paying attention. We're distracted, or we're not really interested in what's going on around us. So it's important to put down your phone, look up, make eye contact with the people around you, and really pay attention. What are they saying? Is there anything you want to add? Are they asking for your opinion? Keep your eyes and ears open for those opportunities. Next up, we've got U, which stands for Understand. One thing I always tell people is that in order to be able to speak up, you need to understand what it is you want. You need to understand what your goal is. What outcome are you hoping for? What do you want to change? What do you want to improve? But it's also important to understand what you're walking into. For example, if you're about to have a difficult conversation with someone, make sure you understand their point of view. Why do they believe what they believe? Why do they do what they do? Understanding where they're coming from will allow you to approach the conversation with more empathy, which will make it more likely that you'll get the results that you want. You also need to understand the other options, the pros and cons, the risks and rewards. Understanding all of this will help you make a plan. And the more prepared you are, the more likely you are to succeed. Next up, we've got D, which stands for do it. This is the part everyone's been waiting for. After you've gotten clear on your beliefs, you've listened to yourself and to others. You've kept your eyes open for opportunities, and you've taken the time to really understand what's going on. Now it's time to do it. Now it's time to speak up. As they say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. Whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, whatever it is that you've been wanting to say, the time to do it is now. Chances are, if you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect timing, it's never gonna happen. You just have to dive right in. And once you do, you'll have gained so much confidence, so much experience, that it will become easier and easier every single time. And finally, we've got R, which stands for results. Speaking up is not just something you do for fun or just because you feel like it. There's usually some kind of result that you're hoping for. So it's important to identify what that is. More money, more recognition, more influence. Once you know what you're aiming for, you can start to figure out how to get there. Speaking up is not always easy. It takes courage and confidence. So it's important to remind yourself of your win. Remind yourself of times when you did speak up and the results that you got. Write them down. Put them somewhere visible. Use them as motivation to keep going. Also, keep in mind that sometimes the results aren't what we expect. Sometimes we speak up and we don't get the promotion we were hoping for or the raise. But even in those cases, there's still a result. We gained experience. We built confidence. Maybe we learned something new about ourselves that we didn't know before. No matter what happens, there's always a result. So make sure you take some time to really think about what it is you want and how you're going to measure it. So, that's it. That's my framework for speaking up. Remember, it's not enough to just want to speak up. You need a plan. So use this framework. Use the Be Loud with Results method and get out there. Start speaking your truth. Start speaking up for yourself. And if you want more tips and tricks on how to do that, make sure you stay tuned because that's what this channel is all about. Helping you get out there, speak your truth, and live your best life. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and I'll see you soon. Bye.